The Room Across the Hall, a private confession by Magic Verse. Welcome to Magic Verse, where memory fades, silence speaks, and the line between real and imagined begins to blur. Tonight we share a story not of ghosts or monsters, but of something far more haunting. The possibility that someone we loved never existed. This is The Room Across the Hall, a quiet confession, a lost name, and the aching echo of something or someone almost forgotten. Welcome to Magic Verse, where memory fades, silence speaks, and the line between real and imagined begins to blur. Tonight we share a story not of ghosts or monsters, but of something far more haunting. The possibility that someone we loved never existed. This is The Room Across the Hall, a quiet confession, a lost name, and the aching echo of something or someone almost forgotten. August 17th. The house is quiet now. I can hear the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen, the clock ticking in the hallway, and the dull echo of my own footsteps. Every sound feels louder in the silence that has settled since my father passed. I came back to clear out his things. Not because anyone asked me to, but because I couldn't bear the thought of strangers packing away what little remained of him. The hallway upstairs still smells like his aftershave. The cheap one in the green bottle he always swore by. Old Spice, I think. I paused in front of his room for a long time before opening it. It was exactly as I remembered. His slippers under the bed, his glasses folded neatly on the nightstand, a small photo of me and him. At my college, graduation, no one else. And yet, I kept expecting to see two faces in that frame. I don't know why I wrote that. August 18th. I opened the door to the room across the hall today. I've avoided it since I arrived. I guess part of me was scared, or maybe ashamed. It used to be my sister's room. Emily. She would have been 32 this year, a few months older than me. We were born 11 months apart. Irish twins, my mother used to say, laughing like it was some great joke we'd never understand. The room hadn't changed. Same lavender curtains, same posters on the wall. Stars, constellations, a faded Backstreet Boys one that she refused to take down even in high school. Her desk still had her notebooks stacked, neatly labeled. Chemistry, literature, French. She used to doodle tiny flowers in the corners of every page. It felt wrong how still everything was. Like time had been sealed in a jar and placed on a shelf no one had dusted in years. But the strangest thing, I couldn't remember her voice. August 20th. I had dinner with Aunt Carol today. She insisted I stop by, said it would be good for the soul to talk. She made tuna casserole, like she always did when we were kids. The table was set for two. We talked about Dad for a while, about his stubbornness, his quiet pride, about how he never got over Mom. Then I asked her if she remembered that trip we all took to Cape Cod, the one where Emily got stung by a jellyfish and I cried because I thought she was dying. She looked at me for a long time, her fork halfway to her mouth. "You were an only child, sweetheart," she said. I laughed. I thought she was joking, but she didn't laugh back. August 22nd. I found the photo album today, the one with the brown leather cover. I know I've seen pictures of Emily in there, on the swing in the backyard, at the kitchen table blowing out candles, wearing her silver ballet shoes. I flipped through the pages. Me, Dad, Mom, me again. No, Emily. There were blank spaces where I swear photos used to be. Faint outlines on the page like ghosts of memories. I felt sick. I checked the yearbooks next. High school, middle school, even elementary. No Emily Walters. No record of her at all. August 23rd. I went to the attic. Boxes upon boxes of our lives stacked high. Tax records, VHS tapes, old clothes. I was looking for anything. A birth certificate. A report card. Something to prove she was real. I found a box labeled EW tucked behind a broken lamp. Inside, a few crayon drawings, a pair of small ballet slippers, and a music box. It played Claire de Lune when I wound it. The same melody I remember her dancing to in the living room, arms above her head, spinning in circles until she collapsed in giggles. I listened to it for over an hour. August 25th. I called my mother's old friend, Marianne. She and Mom were close. She used to babysit us when we were little. "Do you remember Emily?" I asked. A pause. "No, honey," she said. "Your parents always wanted another child, but they never did. It was just you." I hung up. I don't understand. August 27th. There are things I remember that no one else seems to. A birthday cake with 2 names on it. Shared baths. Endless fights over who got the bigger half of a cookie. Watching cartoons side by side, our legs tangled in a blanket. I remember the night she fell off her bike and scraped her chin, and how Dad yelled at me for letting her go too fast. I remember losing her. The funeral. The casket so small it didn't look real. The way Mom stopped brushing her hair afterward. How Dad never opened her door again. I remember. So why doesn't anyone else? September 1st. I went to the town records office. They looked at me like I was unwell. "There's no record of an Emily Walters born here in 1991, the clerk said. I showed them the photo of the ballet slippers, the music box. "You probably had a childhood friend," she offered gently. "And your memory just folded her in? Folded her in, like origami?" September 3rd, I'm afraid. Not of what's missing, but of how certain I am. Because if I'm wrong, if Emily never existed, what does that say about the rest of my memories? What else have I imagined? September 7th. I stayed in her room last night. I lay on her bed, stared at the glow-in-the-dark stars still stuck to the ceiling, and tried to remember everything. Her laugh, her scent, the sound of her ballet slippers on the wooden floor, the way she cried when Bambi's mother died. I dreamt she was standing by the window. "Do you still remember me?" she asked. I didn't answer. September 9th. The room across the hall is empty now. The posters are gone. The desk is bare. The music box no longer plays. Dad's will didn't mention her. Not once. I sat on the floor today and tried to speak her name out loud. It felt foreign, like a language I used to know. September 11th. Maybe grief is a mirror. Maybe I created Emily because I needed someone to share the burden of silence. Maybe I needed her more than she ever existed. But still, I can't explain the scar on my knee I got chasing her through the sprinkler, or the drawing I found in the attic with her name, her handwriting. I can't explain the ache I feel when I walk past that room, somewhere between the walls and the years. Something was lost, or buried, or imagined so vividly it became real. Does it matter which? September 15th. I'm leaving tomorrow. The house will be sold. The room will be painted over. The music box, broken, now sits in my suitcase. But before I go, I'll leave one thing behind. A note on her desk. Emily, if you were real, I'm sorry I forgot. If you weren't, thank you for being with me anyway. I needed you. I don't know who I'm writing to anymore, but I hope she forgives me. Some stories don't end with answers. They end in silence, in half-remembered dreams, faded photographs, and the ache of a name you can't quite recall. If this story stayed with you, even just for a moment, like, share, and subscribe to Magicverse. And if there's someone you've forgotten, say their name, even if you're not sure they were ever real.